When you were a child, I bet you tried to hold your breath underwater to see how long you could do it. You might not know it, but this thing is called freediving or apnoea. I'm a Croatian athlete of freediving and finswimming. I'm freediving since I was a child, and this passion just grew and grew inside me. I think I learned first to dive, then to swim. But why is freediving this important for me? I hope you understand when I'm telling my story. So, how I said, I'm freediving since I was a child. And I just love this feeling. I was traveling by boat with my family. And there was a game that I used to play as a kid. My grandma would throw a pot into the sea, and the kid that would reach for it would become the new owner of the pot. That was by the age of 8, I reached 10 meters. In that moment, I set a goal to myself. I had to reach every year 2 meters deeper. That changed when at the age of 15, I reached a depth of 31 meters. I just love this feeling of calm and silence that I was feeling when I was underwater. That feeling was the same feeling as you watch the beautiful color of a sunset. In that moment, I wanted to challenge myself and to compete with the rest of the world. Unfortunately, in official competition, you are not allowed to compete if you are younger than 18. I was disappointed because in that moment, I couldn't make one of my dreams come true. But understood, because freediving, it's quite a risky sport. In the meantime, I met a new version of diving, scuba diving. Scuba diving is much more recognition and easy than freediving because you have an air tank underwater. One day, 2 divers came to me and they asked me a strange question. If I would like to try a new version of freediving under ice. At first, I wasn't so sure about that. I thought, why would a normal person go freediving under the cold ice? And the second thing was, why I would go freediving beneath the ice in length. Since then, I was doing freediving in depth. But since I want to compete and to challenge myself for so long, and I just turned 18 a few months before, I accept the challenge. That was definitely a hard call, and harder than I expected. I had to train a lot. And since my dad was my trainer, it was even harder, because he knew what was the best for me. In that moment, I wasn't so mature. I was thinking a lot about friends, how to be recognized by the others, what was my position in the world. So I couldn't really focus on my main goal. It was the same when you go to the grocery shop without a list. You're surrounded by thousands of articles, and you forgot the one thing you really come for. That was how I was feeling. I was training for 6 months every day. And I was doing 3 to 4 times per week some easy gym training. While doing the exercise, I was holding my breath. That to making my body, but especially my mind, ready for the stress that I would have under the ice. In that training, I hold my breath for 5 minutes. That's a long time, yes. To make it pass faster, I was singing some song like, "This is my fight song," or "My heart will go on." That make me feel relaxed a little bit. Of course, the rest of the days I was training also in water. And since we don't have an indoor pool from where I come from, in Croatia, in the city of Robin, I was training to the sea. In winter, the water degrees in 9 degrees, so quite cold. And to make use of that cold, I was training with a really thin suit with holes. The 10th date was coming closer, and I was ready physically and mentally. But just 3 months before the event, the organization team told me that I would have to reach more than 110 meters in length, since there was already a Guinness World Record of freediving under ice for female. I wasn't sure if I could make it, but I realized it wouldn't be impossible. I trained so much for it, so that even though I was nervous, I thought that I could make it. The event was called in Italy, in the lake called Anterselva or Antolse. The event date was almost there, and everything was ready. But just before that, of the main event, this morning, I discovered one thing, that the record would not be recognized, as there weren't any judge. I was quite disappointed, because I training so much for that. I suffer, I sweated, I freeze in the cold water. So even though I was disappointed, I decided to do it anyway. I reached this 111 meter. When I come back home, my family was waiting with a bouquet of flowers and a poster of myself. I was really moved that I started crying. But there was still that feeling of disappointment inside my mouth. So, therefore, we decided to try again the very next year. This time, my father took the biggest part of the organization. He found the Underwater Federation judge and also the medical team. The training did not change much from the previous year. Just this time, I was training a little more into the pool, so it wasn't that cold. The record was held in the same place as the year before. This time, the organization was just perfect. There were so many people watching me to succeed. I feel a little bit agitated from all those people. Here, I had to reach 40 meters more than the previous year. Now you will say 40 meters is not that much. But trust me, for the one diving there, it seems like a kilometer. Finally, this important date arrived. And when I got into the water, I felt the cold. It was really a shock for me, because I started agitating and I couldn't calm down. I poured this cold water inside my suit, and I started breathing and to relax. In that moment, in my brain came the record from last year. All the person that sacrificed their time for me. I, who was training every day for be here. All those thoughts flew in my brain in 1 second. I took one last breath and go for the dive. I feel comfortable. It was just me, the water, and the ice. I love this feeling of calm and silence. I didn't got any presence around me. And I reached the 125 meter. When I came outside, I had to do the okay signal to the judge that I was okay. That was it. I made it. It was funny, because just the day before of my record, there was Artur Guarin Boer, another freediver, who set the male record. It's interesting that my record was the first female record ever recognized by the Underwater Federation. I was really happy. So, how I told you... No, wait. Thank you. How I told you at the beginning, why is freediving so important for me? That's not just a sport. It became a lifestyle, which helped me in stressful situations. Like when you have so many things all messed up from work, school, and instead of losing your hair from it, you take a hot teacup and relax while listening to some nice music. And put a clear picture of what you have to do first. Often, we get stressed from expectation of others. Like, we are not allowed to fail for a job, to fail from achievement, to fail from love, or something else. But we are not robots. We are humans. And if we don't know the feel of failure, we will never know the happiness when we succeed. Freediving taught me a lot of things about myself that I didn't even know that I have, like curiosity. I feel like a child when I'm freediving. And it's the same feeling as the child for the first time ever see a present. Stubbornness. You should never give up from what is important for you, even when the circumstances are not right, because you will regret more the things you haven't done than the one you did. There is one quote from Franklin D. Roosevelt, which I personally really like. It goes, "A smooth sea never made a skillful sailor. There is never an easy path to success." I'm sure all of you here have your own freediving inside your heart. And it shouldn't be something so special, like climbing Mount Everest, or going to the moon, or have a world record. But you can also go to walk in the nature with your dearest, or do something that makes you feel happy. Because often, the small things can take the biggest part in your life. In today's world, we are too busy on making our career, or we are too focused on having enough money, that we forget about ourselves, about our health, and about our happiness. We should give more importance to those small things, because they make a big part in our life. They are not far away. They are here, inside each of us. Thank you.